welcome back for chapter 31.
I am he as you are, he as you
If
are, me
you woke up this morning with a sneaking suspicion that John Lennon's lyrics from the Beatles song I Am the Walrus hold the key to unlock our collective understanding of Donald Trump's truth, social, war crime threats, then this is the podcast episode for you. And if you woke up this morning sleepwalking through your routine, just a little numb to the escalating tension of the Trump regime, and then found yourself pissed off at that person meandering on the sidewalk while you have places to be, goddammit, important places to be, you know, and you need a gentle reminder that your anger at the meandering sidewalk sloth is only manifesting because you know somewhere deep down in your core that the children of the future are going to be asking you what, beyond the occasional No Kings March, you did to stop Trump. They'll be asking me too. If that's you, then this podcast episode might just be for you. But if you woke up and your name is Pete Hegseth or Stephen Miller or Donald J. Trump, then please, please, please just go shove a crucifix-shaped cactus up your a-hole. Hi, I'm Lloyd Dobler, and welcome to the Tao of Lloyd. It's a podcast where I take the Tao Te Ching one chapter at a time, and I use it as a lens through which to comprehend or try to comprehend the late stage everything moment that we're in right now. And as I write the script for this episode, our president has put Iran on the clock. In a social media post that everyone has read and reread and dissected, Trump wrote, and I quote, "Tuesday will be power plant day and bridge day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. 3 exclamation points. Open the fucking straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch, exclamation point. Praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump." And then in a future post, Trump clarified that the deadline is going to be 8 p.m. on Tuesday, Eastern time, prime time. You know how he rolls. And it's a nature of the podcast project like this that most people listening right now are listening sometime after that deadline has come and gone. I'm speaking to the future. And so you know, listener, whether or not Donald Trump has ordered U.S. fighter pilots to commit war crimes, which is what bombing infrastructure of a nation would be. Or if he has tacoed again and moved the goalposts, or if he has claimed victory for the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th time, or some third option that no one had on their bingo card, because that's the thing about living inside a slow motion crisis. The plot keeps mutating, but the pattern doesn't. So this is real. This isn't a satire. This isn't a sketch. This is the sitting president of the United States, Donald Trump, out there on social media like he's promoting WrestleMania Geopolitics edition. Like civilian infrastructure is a Marvel movie crossover event. And now there's a deadline. Tuesday at 8 p.m. Stupid bloody Tuesday. And it's why this episode still matters, even if you're listening in the future after Stupid Bloody Tuesday, because it's not really about what he did at 8 p.m. on Tuesday. It's about what this collective moment is doing to us, how it's training us to normalize threats, to turn violence into content, to pick enemies and call it clarity, and how, if we're not paying attention, we start to mirror the very thing that we say we're resisting. So right now, listener, you're either in the sequel, the fake out ending, or the director's cut where everything somehow got worse. And I can still feel my brain doing its thing. It's sorting, it's labeling. It's trying to find a new way to describe Donald Trump, the fucking cartoon level villain. I'll give it another try. Donald Trump is like a used car dealership, and a James Bond villain had a baby and raised it on white grievance, Jerry Springer reruns, and an endless supply of 2 all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Big Mac. Easy. See that? Clean. Comforting. Kinda. Except, hold on, the second I say that, the second I turn Trump into, quote, that, I've done the same thing that he's doing, He's got Iran as the enemy. I've got Trump as my enemy, and now we're off to the races. Everyone's got an enemy. Everyone's righteous, and everyone's locked in. And Ram Dass is somewhere in the background like a stoned-out ghost at a yoga retreat going, hey, man, hey, Lloyd, you might want to look into that. Because the inconvenient teaching, the one nobody is putting on a bumper sticker, is that we're all the same thing, wearing different costumes. We're all God in drag. Or as John Lennon sings in I Am the Walrus, I am he, as you are he, as you are me, and we are all together. Which means, obviously, either A, John Lennon was a time-traveling Zen punk who took one look at 2026, clocked a spray-tanned game show emperor threatening power plant day like it's a 2-for-1 apocalypse flash sale and went, perfect, I'll smuggle the whole diagnosis into a kaleidoscopic fever dream lullaby, lace it with some nonsense that isn't nonsense, and let some half-baked Gen X meditation podcaster named Lloyd try to decode it while the empire live streams its own nervous breakdown. Or B, the Beatles accidentally built a lyrical Mad Lib machine for a late stage collapse. You just drop in one reality show con artist, 2 crumbling institutions, a handful of defense contractors, and a partridge in a pear tree of algorithmic outrage. You shake it up like a snow globe full of broken headlines, and out comes a perfect little prophecy you can dance to while the world quietly catches fire. Or C, he was pointing at something way less convenient and way more real, that the line between us and them is thinner than we want it to be, that the same consciousness looking out through your eyes is looking out through his, through Trump's. And if we can't see that, if we can't hold that, even as we resist what's happening, then we're not actually breaking the pattern. We're just like shitty DJs remixing it. Which brings me back to Lennon. John, not Vladimir, singing Corporation T-shirt, stupid bloody Tuesday, man, you been a naughty boy, you let your face grow long, or something like that. So hold on, we now got a president, Donald J. Trump. He's putting war on the calendar. Tuesday, 8 p.m. It's like a product drop. It's now streaming, stupid bloody Tuesday. And Corporation T-shirt, that's what it looks like when power becomes branding. And what is Donald Trump if not a brand? And yeah, I want to say that he's the one wearing it. But like yin to the yang, every time he puts something out and I oppose it, I'm participating in it. Every time I scroll his stuff like it's content, I'm wearing that brand too. I am the Eggman. They are the Eggmen. I am the Walrus. Everybody's got a role. Everybody's got a costume. The leader, the critic, the resistor, the guy with the podcast trying to explain it all. Eggmen, all of us. And all the king's horses and all the king's men won't be able to put us back together again. And with that, if that's got us suitably wound up, let's settle in for a little Tao reading and a little meditation. Get comfortable. Close your eyes and start the journey within. Or don't. I mean, I'm not your spiritual advisor, right? But really, what have you got to lose? I mean, unless you're stealing the nuclear briefcase away from the White House, or shutting down a weapons manufacturer, or you're trying to return an email from a colleague that starts with just circling back without throwing your MacBook Air through a window, just close your eyes and start the journey within. And then take a long, slow, deep breath in through the nose. Pause and let it go. Like your hot breath could melt ice, the agency not water molecules locked into a rigid hexagonal lattice by hydrogen bonding. Good. This is chapter 31 of the Tao Te Ching. Weapons are the tools of violence. All decent men detest them. Weapons are the tools of fear. A decent man will avoid them except in the direst necessity, and, if compelled, will use them only with the utmost restraint. Peace is his highest value. If the peace has been shattered, how can he be content? His enemies are not demons, but human beings like himself. He doesn't wish them personal harm, nor does he rejoice in victory. How could he rejoice in victory and delight in the slaughter of men? He enters a battle gravely, with sorrow and with great compassion, as if he were attending a funeral. Okay, so that's Lao Tzu, 2,500 years ago, basically saying, if you have to use force, you do it like you're attending a funeral, not a rally, not a brand activation, not a power plant day threat from the president. And I think the problem, or a problem, is how fast we metabolize it. How quickly something unthinkable becomes, Tuesday. Stupid bloody Tuesday. How a threat turns into a headline, then a take, then a scroll, then maybe a podcast episode, some background noise while you're deciding what to have for lunch. And Power Plant Day sounds like a thing that just happens. Yeah, and I still feel the pull. I feel the pull to make Trump the villain, to make this clean, to draw the line nice and thick and neat and permanent. But the Tao keeps dissolving the line, Ram Dass keeps dissolving the line, and Lennon just blows it up completely. I am he as you are me, and we are all together. And then remember at the end of the song when the Beatles were fucking with us with those backwards messages and stuff, we hear, John is really dead. It went like, John is really dead. John is really dead. Just a reminder that underneath all the role play, all the roles, and all the eggmen and walruses and kings and enemies, this ends in a body. Not metaphorically, not politically, not rhetorically, but really, it ends. So when Lao Tzu says, enter the battlefield like a funeral, he's not being poetic, he's being literal. This is about bodies. So wherever this podcast landed in your ears, whatever Tuesday became, this is the practice. Stay awake to the cost, because stupid bloody Tuesday isn't absurd. It's a day that somebody doesn't come back from. And I'll see you next time for chapter 32. From the edge of the empire, in the center of the self, this is the Tao of Lloyd.